Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Beautiful job. Unbelievable. What's your names? What's your name?
Chullin Fergus.
You're Chaim David. You are?
Chullin Fergus.
Fergus. And these are your three boys. Chaim David, what's your name? You? Yosef. Psh. You look like a kid that does the daf. You do the daf once in a while? For real? How long?
They do it for Chullin.
Really?
I give them incentive.
What's the incentive?
For every daf they get $1.
That's the incentive my dad gave me. That was 50 years ago. It still works, huh?
Yeah.
Every daf.
There's 3 kids.
But you know what? If I had all the animation and all that stuff, I would have done it for 50 cents. I had to do it like out of the safer. It's different. What an incentive. Okay, geschmack. So how much money is that? That's a lot of money. That's 100 and whoa, times 3. Psh, you're doing it also? How old are you? He has to give you more than $1. It's $1.50. No? I'll pitch in the 50.
Okay.
I got the 50. But you got to come to me. You got to ask for it. Okay, Rabbi Isai, great news here. This is a chiddush to me. I heard there was talk behind the scenes. Yitzi Hollander bought the Kesser of the Torah. It's a very nice gift. Yishukayach Gadol Ma'od. Special thank you, Yitzi. Be'emet, beautiful. Special psukim. Rafal Levin v'freisi yoischa b'm'od ma'od u'saticha l'goyim u'mlachim u'chayit tzeu be'ezer Hashem psurus toivus. Michael Katz, V'oikiv yacha Hashem el eretz haknani loses loch eretz zovas cholav u'dvash parnosa berevach v'kol tuv. David Katzenstein, daber el arim v'elborav lehem koise vorchu es b'nei Yisrael emor lohem. Didn't somebody take you v'recha Hashem? He maybe got the first part, the second part. Wow. Geshmak. Okay, shkoyach guys. All this money is going directly to bring people to Torah. Hi, Rebelli. My name is Jojo. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Linden, New Jersey. My first cousin once removed is Yeshua Aaron Price. I'm a camper at Camp Simcha and I started doing the daf on Chullin Daf Beis, like you guys. I originally started because I wanted to get better at learning, but while I got further each day, it started to give me stability and strength in my days in the hospital and out. The daf is a source of strength and distraction to go through the treatments on a day-to-day basis. Even in dark times, the daf is a source of light. This is a 15-year-old kid has to write this. I've been trying to get a few counselors to join MDY as well as a couple fellow campers. They even ended up joining me when I watched the daf at 1 month of Shabbos in camp, and it seemed like they really enjoyed it. I've been doing the daf through camp and even missed some activities so that I don't miss a day. These are some pictures of me around camp and in the hospital. Thank you. Unbelievable. Jojo, you should have a refuah shleima. Here he is, Jojo. Unbelievable. What a source of inspiration. And here is counselor's top right corner watching with him. He has a screen in front of him, the bottom right corner. Unbelievable. The president, the Nasi, Bibi, also does the daf. You can see he has our Gemara in his hands. It's not AI. It's the guys aren't, they're mamish stark. Baruch Geffen doing the Hebrew Shir live inside the wings of, he flies with the Prime Minister, Baruch Geffen. And here he is. Unbelievable. This one, Rabbi said, this is huge. For me, this is huge. Avrami Davis, nephew of Ari Davis, learns the daf on the day of his wedding. Unbelievable. Mazel tov. That's the way you get married. You start off on the right foot with Torah. Unreal. Look at this. The back of his laptop has, I just realized this now with you guys, as I'm sitting here. Look at that sticker right there. Gewaldig. Okay. And then, check this out. Somebody hired an electrician.
תראו מה זה, איזה כיף. מביא חשמלאי. ניצול הזמן אמיתי. תענוג, מוישי אלוף, אשריך.
We're talking about electrician. You wouldn't hire a guy like that. Learning Torah while he's putting a box together?
היי מיש!
He's allowed to. Not,
He's stealing from the balabas.
no, but he's the balabas. He's his own.
He's his own. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
He's charging by the hour. Then it's a child.
Then nobody charges by the hour. You charge by the job. You charge electricity. No, it goes by points. I don't have to tell you how it works. But I hear what you're saying. Maybe he has. There's a new style tower. Things now. Official edition of the Shas, the Masechta by Zevin Yal Shulhoff. Oops. What? Perek Shishi Ilan Emery Davidovici, Bracha, Hatzlacha, Rufu, and Ahava, Perek, Shvi, dedicated by the Benedict family. Today we're doing 2 prokim. We're finishing the 6th Perek. We have a full Amud, a massive Amud of Agadata, and then we have a smaller Amud of Perek Gidanasha, Gishmak stuff, by the famous Benedict family. Love. He's the guy, he claims that he's most similar to me from all the people in MDY because he does real estate, he flies a plane, he went to Panovich, he speaks Yiddish, Hebrew, and English. What else?
Skydiving, skiing.
I don't know if, he skis. Does he skydive also?
Skydive.
How do you know? He told you this in the safari? Skydive, ski.
Hardball.
He's a little bit older than me. He's probably at least 10 years older than me. But he has...
Base jumping.
No, he doesn't do bungee base jumping. That's not him. Really? He flies a Cirrus. That's my... if I ever get back into flying, which I just stopped by Menorah's yard site, the day he was nifter, he passed during the 9 days. So if I ever get back into it, it'll have to be with a Cirrus, which is a plane that has a parachute in it. Daf Peites Chuni Unger, in honor of Peites, President Trump. May Hashem continue to watch over you. Thank you. Givaldik. You see, finally, somebody that has a Karsa Toiv. I love it. By David Salmon. I like the new format. The letters are nicer, everything's nicer. The Masechta David Salmon, dedicated in memory of Avimori, Reb Shmuel, Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim, Tzvi, Doiv, Zuchron, Levracha, Nifter, Yud Zayin, Iyar, our one and only, what is it called? Corporate sponsor, e-copier. We almost had another one. We might have this other one. I don't know. He didn't show up on Motzei Shabbos. You never know. The Palchik Family Foundation, may our Libet HaTorah during the Ben Azmanim bring us closer to Yimei Geula V'Simcha. Anonymous. And thank you to Chief Benny. You should see some of the pictures. I don't know if Mark has them. Maybe they're in the slides. I'll show you. We have 37 locations, B'liyah and Hara in Eretz Yisrael, and some of the places are packed, and it's Ben Azmanim. Incredible. Where was it? This is the Beis Medrash, very nice Olam. But there was one in Beitar. Where was the one in Beitar? Maybe this one. Yeah, this one. Check this out. This is a satellite location, or boy son. This is larger than many shiurim in Eretz Yisrael. You know, unbelievable. Nice. I wonder where this is, the background. It's very nice, very nice. It's a nice place. Yeah. What else do we have here? Shmuel and Over Schuster for continued Atzloch and Nachas from our children, Anonymous for complete refuah shleim and Arichas Yom, to Leah Bas Esther, Chaim and Leah Levi in honor of the MDY family, Anonymous for my birthday and as a schus for Atzlochem of my family, Baruchni and Begashmi. Ari Simon refuah shleim of Imari Baruch by Miriam. The Spanish shir sponsors refuah shleim to a dear friend of the shir, Espanol. Should have refuah shleim, should hear good news. Avigdor Weiss, in memory of my beloved grandfather, Yaakov ben Naftali Hertz, aka Jack Schnell from Chicago, who his house is directly, but literally directly from the house that I live in now. Well, I don't live in the house that I have in Chicago. Famous Jack Schnell, his neshama should have it in there. I remember him and his wife walking back and forth in Lincolnwood. It's your partner lives in that house, right? Monthly innovations and Rivka Yehudis Bas Yava Chaya, and our kids too. MDY Coffee Corner Day, Anonymous, L'zeich Nishmas, Aryeh Yitzchok Ben Chaim, Oshel Kona, Aryeh Wolf, Olav Shalom Yortzei, Yud Gimel Of. Yesterday I had an amazing one. Covered a woman who loved coffee. Coffee lover. MDY Yard, month, L'Rfuah Shleima, Mordechai Ben Esther, L'Rfuah Hayeled. We finally found out who this kid is from Camp Simcha also, no? Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. It's Tzvi Spiro's neighbor. Rabbi Isai, I feel bad. We have to do a gadata now. The Olam likes lumdus. They don't want a gadata, but that's how Daf Yomi is. Sometimes you get a daf of a gadata, sometimes you have lumdus, sometimes you have both. Says the Gemara, last line on Daf Peiches Amud Beis, Chap Arayin, Daf Chap Arayin. Oh, and I just have to tell the Olam that tomorrow morning, Be'ezer Hashem, flights permitting, flying to Yellowstone, and I'll be there until Sunday, Be'ezer Hashem. Why Sunday? It's supposed to be till Tuesday, because that's all they had on that particular Airbnb, and we weren't going to move. So it's over, that's it. When we come home, I might go afterwards to New York, I might go to Florida, everything's up in there, no real plans. But my son, Aaron, bought a house this past week. He didn't even move in yet, and he really wants us to come see it, and so we might go to Florida for a day or two, but I'll be back, Be'ezer Hashem, in Chicago towards the end of next week. I'll be here for Shabbos, and then going back to Eretz Yisrael through Brazil. 3 days in Brazil, giving shiurim, meeting people there, giving them chizuk. Zok to the Heilige Gemara. V'amar Rava. Did I tell them I'm going to Brazil?
No, just now.
This is the first time?
No, you mentioned it.
I said,
You mentioned.
You mentioned.
Mentioned, but not.
I didn't say the name, Brazil.
No, and you didn't give us the itinerary.
Now you know.
Give us the itinerary.
Okay, the island is welcome. I know somebody from New York that's coming special. A few people from New York are coming special. V'amar Rava. B'schar shomar Avram Avinu. So yesterday we had in the schar that Avram Avinu said the two words offer ve'efer. So Klal Yisrael has two mitzvahs of efer of the paraduma and the offer of the saita. But we explained that these are two mitzvahs that Klal Yisrael enjoys and benefits in this world. You become tar through a paraduma, and that's great. It helps you. You also, a woman can become mutter to her husband through the offer. So V'amar Rava, and he continues, same theme. B'schar shama Avram Avinu imchut b'atzroichnal. I will not benefit from the Zdoimis. I beat them in the war. I could take the loot, but I'm not taking even a shoelace. I don't want anything. I don't want to benefit from them. Halachically, he was allowed to take it. So because he used those two words, I guess HaKadosh Baruch Hu recognized the godless in that. He appreciated it. So, Zachu banav l'shtei mitzvahs. One for the chut, a string, and one for the shoelace. Zachu banav l'shtei mitzvahs l'chut shet tcheles, the string of tcheles, which I don't know if it's the real one, but I'm telling you, it takes guts to wear this. It's gutsy. Meaning, it's not pashut. It's not for gaiva. It's even though people will look at you and say you're a weirdo, because in the mainstream olam they don't wear it. But since I was convinced of it, so I said, okay, got to do it, even though it's little off, not so socially acceptable. Okay, so l'chot shel tcheles u'ritzua shel tefillin. Because Avram Avinu said sroichnal, so Klal Yisrael has a ritzua of tefillin. Now, we have to understand, based on what we said yesterday, that these mitzvahs are beneficial for Klal Yisrael. What's the benefit of tchelos and what's the benefit of the ritzua of tefillin? Bishlam ritzua shel tefillin ksiv v'ro kol amei aretz ki shem Hashem nikra alecha. Now, in the ritzua, if you pay attention, so the tefillin shel roish has a shin, and the back of it is a dalid, so it's the part of the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shakai. So it says about tefillin, v'ro kol amei haaretz, the nations will see, ki shem Hashem nikra alecha, Hashem's name is called on you. V'tanya Rebbe Lezer Agadol Omer, elu tefillin sheberoish. These are the tefillin of roish, not shel yad. Roish, because it has the shin, it has the dalid. So that's Shem Hashem. It's 2/3 of Hashem's name. They'll see it. This is the very famous story about the Vilna Gaon, and about the Shagasarya, and about the Balatanya, and about the Pnei Yeshua, and basically every gadol the story is said about. I heard about the Vilna Gaon first, and the witness that says the story is Reb Chaim Volozhiner. So anytime Reb Chaim Volozhin, who's the Gal Adar, says over a story, I respect it. Whereas a lot of times, people make up stuff, you don't know what the source is. So I don't know, I didn't look into who said the story about the Balatanya, what generation was written, where it's written, etc. So I don't know. The story goes as follows, that they came to rob a bunch of people, and the Vilna Gaon was there, and they came in, and when they saw the Vilna Gaon, they turned around and ran away. So they asked the Vilna Gaon, what happened? Like, why did they run away? So he said, because I'm wearing tefillin shorosh. And it says in the pasuk, V'ro kolam me'aretz kishem Hashem nikra alecha, and they feared that and they ran away. So somebody's standing, they said, wait a minute, I also wear tefillin shorosh. How come they didn't run away when they saw me? So he said, if you look in the Gemara says, Elu tefillin sheberosh. Sheberosh means inside the head. He says, I'm not wearing the tefillin just what you see on top of my head. It's in the head. Yiddishkeit is inside the head. Yiddishkeit is the kavanah you have. It's when you put on your tefillin, it's a geschmacka thing if you think about it. You're putting on the tefillin anyway. If you pause literally, for 2 seconds, I think they say, what am I doing? Why? Now, you could do it out of rut, you have no idea what like 2 minutes later, like, oh, I did put on, yeah. If you pause, look, I'm doing this, Kosh Baruch has been tzavah me, I'm doing a mitzvah, it's a different thing. So he said, the tefillin are in my head. Sheberoish, the kavanah they have in my head. That's the difference. You can wear tefillin from today to tomorrow, it doesn't have an effect. If you have the real kavanah, then it has the effect. Elu tefillin sheberoish. In other words, here's a perfect example. The story explains the Gemara. The question is, how do Klal Yisrael benefit from tefillin? Here, they benefit because when you wear tefillin, the nations fear you. What benefit is there when a Jew wears a blue string on his tzitzis? The answer is because why is it blue? Why is it not red or any other color? The famous Gemara. Because tcheles is similar to the ocean. V'yam doim l'rikia. And the ocean is similar to the heaven. V'rikia doim l'even. And the heaven's color is similar to the sapphire. Ve'evan saper doim l'kisei kavod. And eventually, the way the human brain works, the famous Gemara says you're not allowed to look at clothing of a woman that's hanging on the clothesline, drying, let's say, because it'll remind you of a woman. The way the brain works is by association. You see this color, and you see in your mind, all of a sudden, and you're eventually going to get to the Kisei HaKavod. Hopefully, through looking at the blue. So Mela, so Alfie, what's the pshat over here? So typically speaking, why am I asking you? Because I want you to come out with the chiddush from the shir, finally. Rashi says it's the reverse of what it says in the Gemara. We're thinking about in terms of us. We're going to see the string, and we're going to see the ocean, the heaven, the sapphire, the Kisei HaKavod. Says Rashi, no, it's about the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom sees his Kisei HaKavod, he goes to the sapphire, and he remembers the tchelis that the Jews are wearing, and then he favors the Yidden. It's not us, it's the Rebbeinu Shalom, says Rashi. Here, in case you don't know where the Rashi is, or you're in a truck somewhere and you want to see it, it's on the screen, and Rashi says all the way at the end, it's beautiful lashon. When he looks at his own kisei hakavod, niskar b'mitzvah zu shekeneged kol hamitzvos. Tchelis and tzitzis is equal to all the mitzvahs. It represents all the mitzvahs, the entire mitzvahs. D'chsev vayiru eis elokei Yisrael v'sachas raglov k'maisa livnes hasaper k'etzem shemayim toyar. Okay. D'chsev k'mari even saper d'mus kisei. Bekitzer here. So we have a video.
Techilus resembles the sea. The sea resembles the sky. The sky resembles sapphire stone. And sapphire stone resembles the throne of glory.
Okay. it's good that he finished it off with the Jew at the end. So the HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes back to the Jew. Omer Babo, Remamish Nagadata. Kosher Gezel Hanechal, if a person steals something and then he eats it, he consumes it. Shafil Tzadikim Gemur remaining Micholim Lachzirah. It's very difficult to return something that's consumed. Shenemar, Bil'odai Rak Asher Ochlo Hana'orim. Avraham Avinu says, by Zdaim, again, I'll return everything, I return all the loot, but I cannot return that which my soldiers, my Talmidim, my people, the Na'arim, the youngsters, they ate. They came in and they ate, they were hungry, they ate food. Ooh, I just saw a Murdik Azach today. Somebody sent me a clip of a Chiloni guy. He goes into a gas station today in Eretz Yisrael. Yesterday, I don't know when it was. He says, I was here on October 7th, and I fought the terrorists from this rooftop. We knew that they're coming, and we just waited and we ambushed them. We got really, really thirsty. So we came into your gas station and we stole water. I'm here to pay you back. This was what, how many years ago? 4 years ago. I'm here to pay you back. Mamish, gezel anechal. So he says, and by the way, I just now realized, it's usher to do. Wow. We once learned halacha that if you're very thirsty, you cannot break into somebody's place, what was the halacha, and take his stuff and say, I'll pay him back later. No. Say if it's pikuach nefesh, obviously. And the guy was like, what are you, crazy? I'm not taking your money. I'm so happy you took it. And I guess he was just an employee there who gave him rishos anyway, but he was like a young guy. But it was nice. He came to pay back. Obviously, we'd be moichel lechatchila. Yeah, it's not even a question, but halachically, I remember when we learned that halacha, I was shocked. It's like, what are you permitted to do when you're very hungry? Are you allowed to break into somebody's store and I'm hungry and I'll pay you back, I'm starving. What are you supposed to do? Okay, if it's pikuach nefesh, there's no brayer, but it was like a chiddush, like to the extreme, like no, you have zero rishus to do that.
You let eat a candy bar before you pay for it in the supermarket.
That's something else. That's I think it's acceptable behavior kind of for the most part, and unless they mamish say no. Okay, but that's different. Over here, you're passing by a store, you haven't eaten for 2 days, you smash the guy's front window, and you're gonna pay him back. One day you're gonna have the money, you're gonna pay. You're not a ganav. It's awesome.
What about the window?
Yeah. The window is the small amount. The water is the. Amar Yechanan, Mishum Rebbe Lazar. Yeah. So I just don't want to miss the point. Avraham Avinu didn't steal. Avraham Avinu was saying that you know what? I'm a tzaddik. I'm going to Fnim Shur Sadin. I'm going to give you back all the loot, all your gold, silver, animals, all that. But it's difficult for me to come out of pocket, so to speak, for food that my people took, which they're allowed to take halachically because we're winning the war. We're taking from you. But so you see the difficulty a person has to go back and pay up. It's like difficult to pay back a loan, right? Take somebody's money, you can't pay him back now. It's already used up. It's hard. That's what the Gemara says there. Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Amar Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon. Kol makom shata moitzet dvar shel Rabbi Elazar b'noi shel Rabbi Yossi HaGlili b'Haggadah. When you're in this Haggadah and you hear his words, Aseyos necha kafarkeses. Oh, what's a farkeses? Here we have an farkeses. It's a hopper. So you put a lot of wheat on the top, and it's a funnel. It funnels down to the bottom pipe. You see, it becomes very, very narrow. So what does that have to do with a human being? Here.
כל מוקרים שעתו מועצת דבורם של רבי אליעזר בנוי של רבי יוסי הגליני בהגודה עשי עוזלכו כפרקסס.
Basically, it's you know what's the pella is? I told Yoshi to do this. Like I told him the whole thing from beginning to end, words coming out, golden words, the whole thing. Within an hour, 2 hours. It's like something that would have taken days. I don't know. It's now an idea. Now these kids are going to remember. You see, that's the thing here, right? If you remember anything, it'll be this. That what? Make your ears large so the Torah goes in, goes straight in, and it becomes narrow on the bottom, so it goes right into the head, into the brain. Oh, so he said what?
It was
Funnel, come out like this.
Come out the other side, huh?
Both ears are a funnel, so it'll stay inside.
Yeah. The famous pasuk, Hashem says, don't think that I love you because you're such a huge nation. You're like the Chinese, you have 1 billion people. And that's why I chose you. Fakert. You are the least, you're the smallest nation. Even to this day, we're so tiny. We're tiny. Here in America, I think we're like less than 0.5% of the population.
We're less than 1% of world population.
But here in America, where we have a lot of people, the world is something else. We're not in India, we're not in China, we're not. But even in America, where we think we have a lot of people in New York and in Chicago, less than 1%. So, says the Gemara, listen to this. It's not as you think, that Hashem loves us because we are, even though we are very few. He has a new pshat. I love you, I want you. Even when I bestow upon you greatness, you make yourself small, you act ba'anava, and that's why I love you so much. So memela, the word, look at this word over here. You are the few. No, you are the small. You are the anavim. Ma'at means you belittled yourself. You made yourself small. That's the pshat of ma'at. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Akash Baruch Hu cares about numbers. He cares about 1 million versus 10 million. No. He cares about anava. That's what he cares. Nosatik dula Avram. Did I read it all? For instance, I gave Avram everything, like we saw yesterday. What am I? I'm ash and dirt. Moshe Aaron, he gave Moshe and Aaron Amru v'nachnu ma. What are we? So what's less? Offer ve'efer or ma? Huh? What's less? What do you think? Anybody? Ma. Because ma is not even ashes. Ashes and dirt you could cover a blood of a behemoth with. What's ma? Ma is nothing. I'm a worm. I heard a vart. I don't know if the Olam is going to like it or not. I'll just say it over. Once somebody said, the David HaMelech said, I'm a worm. Because if he would say that I'm something else, don't talk about me and don't harm me, don't speak Lashon Hara. No, people are not so careful. But if you say I'm a worm, people are very nervous about worms, about insects in their food. That I'm a worm. You got to be careful. If you treat me like a worm, maybe you'll be careful. You won't hurt me. But the nations are different. Whoever I gave greatness, he took it and used it against me, says Hashem. Let's go to war against Hashem. Let's build a city. Here we have this one for Migdal Bavel. This is the tower they try to build before Hashem was boiled all the nations. Into the clouds. And this is what I call a drone shot. They had drones back then also. Gishmak. Okay. The Paro, and he gave Gdula to Paro. So what did Paro do? Omar, Paro said, Mi Hashem, Asher Eshma B'koiloi. Who's this Hashem that I should listen to? The Sancheiriv, I gave power to Sancheiriv. Omar, what did he say? Mi B'chol Elikei Ha'arotzois, Ki Yatzel Hashem Es Yerushalayim Yodi. You think Hashem is going to be able to save Yerushalayim from my hands? He's going to war with Hashem. I'll go up there and what? It's a lotion of, I'll go up there and I'll to spite Hashem. L'chiram melech tsar. What did Chiram do? Omar Moshe v'Elokim yeshafti b'leiv yamim. He went there. He had a place. He had an island, Mamish's island home, and he built a 7-story structure, and he sat on top of it. Here we have a picture. Don't start counting the floors because some of them are parking. He has an elevator that comes out from the ocean. What? I'll be similar to Hashem. I want to be similar to Hashem. Okay, that's you talking about Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. Hiram, he went up there and he says, I'm gonna sit up there and be like Hashem. He sit on the 7th floor. He thought he's a big chacham. Today we have 110 floors or whatever more. How tall is the one in Dubai? Yeah. Omar Rav, Visema Rabbi Yochanan, what's said about Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron that they said Ma, where nothing is more than Avram Avinu. I'm just thinking out loud. We said that because Avram Avinu said those 2 words, off of Efer, Hashem gave us 2 mitzvahs. And if he would have said Ma, what could Hashem give us for Ma? Ma is nothing. What mitzvah do you have for nothing? Stam. It's not even a hara. It's more of a joke. Not a joke. I don't know what the answer is. But okay. So it's more, it's bigger godless, it's more of anova. Rabbi say, everybody knows this, but to repeat, it's not the pshat that Moshe Rabbeinu was like a high school student that's trying to be an anav, and he walks around like this, he's an anav. Moshe Rabbeinu knew exactly who he was. The anova doesn't mean that you think that you're nothing. He's not a ma. He knows that he's the greatest in class. He knows he's the biggest navi. He knows he's the biggest Bal Kishrin, and he remembers the most, and he's the smartest, and everything. Afal Piken, he realizes that he's not better than another human being. That he's not greater. He doesn't think of himself as wow. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't know his milos. Of course, he knows why he is. What makes him bigger doesn't mean that he's more important to Hashem. What are we? You should know that the world today is because in Aaron and Moshe's schus. They said, what are we? In Eov it says, Toile Eretz al Blima. What does the word Blima mean? Beli ma. Without ma. That the world is hanging because of Moshe and Aaron. Listen to this. This is beautiful. Why does the world exist? A person who's quiet during a fight, he doesn't react. The world is in existence because of him. The famous Maisa with Reb Chaim Kanievsky, I think that's the original. Somebody came to him and said, he doesn't have children, what should he do? So Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, next time somebody yells at you in public, be quiet and say to yourself that you're doing it l'schus, that you should have children. And since then, many, many stories. I'll tell you a personal story. Then I think it's a lesson in chinuch, for me at least. I learned a lesson in chinuch from it. I observed my father, Zal Zayn Gesund, being boilam. I once saw him when I was a kid. What happened was, it was in shul, and I did what I do every week. I went around and I looked for a kid that I could beat up, and I beat up a kid. And the father didn't want to have anything to do with that. He was very upset. And he went to my father, he said, your son is a Vildachaya. It's not the first time he beat up my kid. And he beats up all the kids here in shul. And you're a terrible father. He yelled at him in front of everybody. And my father didn't say anything, so he got mad and he was yelling more, and he was holding a sefer, chumash, a siddur, he took it and threw it down, and he was screaming, and the whole shul was quiet. Everybody what happened? They're all looking, and he's screaming, and my father just stood like this. And a number of times in my life, sometimes I react, but a number of times it happened to me where somebody embarrassed me in front of other people, whatever, and that thought of what my father did comes into my mind, and that's what I do. I stand there, listen, but it's because of that chinuch. To me, it's a lesson in chinuch that kids remember how their parents act in certain situations. And had my father gone nuts on this guy, so I would also. That's why my father did. It's like automatic. I remember certain times. It like flashes in my mind. Remember him? He's still like this. I stand like that. It's not me doing it. It's something that's ingrained in my brain. It's a very interesting thing. Okay? Zog, the Gemara, whoever wants to know the end of the story, after Shir, I can tell you the end of the story. Toila Eretz al Blima. Ein ha'olam, we gotta read it again. Ein ha'olam miskayim elo b'shvil mi sheboilam es atzmi b'shas meriva. The world exists from people that control themselves during a fight and don't react. Shenemar, toila eretz al blima. The world is hanging on blima means to, how do you say blima in English? Shut. To like bolem. How do you say bolem? Bolem means to break it short, to stop it. He closes his mouth basically. It says muzzle the mouth? I don't like that word so much, but I don't know what's a better.
Short of responding.
No, it's
That's why it says seals.
seals is a better word. Right. It's in the family of muzzles. Just muzzles means like an external device. Seal is you shut your mouth. Oh, so here we have a video.
Move! Just move already! What, you think you're the only one in a hurry? You're blocking the entire street! What is this? Are you staging a protest here? You've brought this whole country to a standstill. Come on! I don't have all day!
Because of you, the world exists. Okay? Be'ezer Hashem, we should all be Zoicha. Happened a few times in middle Shir. We had a guy get up and scream at me in front of the whole Shir. He didn't like my joke. And he was a guest. He wasn't used to my humor, and he started screaming.
It was edited out.
It was edited out. But I did respond, unfortunately. Another time, somebody said something really not nice. So I said to him, "That's inappropriate. Like that." So that was the response. My chavrusa reminded me. He says, "Yeah, you do respond. You remember that time you said it?" It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, Zog, a few stories, not too much. Shkoyach.
Snap it in there.
You don't want to get a call from Eretz Yisrael. I said before Shir that during the Hebrew Shir, Benny called up Shmuel and yelled at him. He said, his cup is not full enough. As if I don't know how to pour myself water if I need. So I'm so thirsty, I'm not going to take, because it's sometimes I just take directly from the bottle also. Zog the Gemara. Oh. Rebavo Omar Misha Mesim Atzmoi Kimi She'enoi. Toiler Zablima is referring to somebody who acts ba'anava shenemar umitachas zrois oilam. That the hands, so to speak, that hold the world are mitachas. This what's below your feet, that you treat yourself like dirt. We're going to focus on the word ha'umnam. Elam tzedek tedaberu. Meisharim tishbetu b'nei adam. What's a person's avodah they like to say? What's the avodah here? You ever heard them saying? What's the avodah in your guitar? What's the avodah in this Mercedes that you have? I don't know. They use this lashon, avodah. What's the avodah? So what's your avodah in this world? His job is to make himself like a mute, quiet. Oh, if you're supposed to be quiet, Yochel after the Torah. The Chofetz Chaim talks about this. What's the Havamina? But I would think, listen, Hashem wants you to be quieter than your nature. So maybe in Torah also, instead of arguing, be nice about it. You should talk the truth. So when it comes to Torah, you have to say the truth, you have to argue. Maybe you should be a Balgaiva. Maybe it's a good idea to show people how much you know and how smart you are and how fast you are in learning. I hate those people, those show-offs that know, they remember everything. I can't remember 4 lines of Gemara. Nah, I don't hate them. It's geschmack. It's good. The guys in our koil, I encourage them to show people because a lot of chazara, a lot of this. You go straight. Don't be a balgaiva. Don't show off. So there's different. When it comes to Yoni Dalma, Stam people, you got to be quiet. Keep quiet. But when it comes to Torah, you speak your mind. Don't show off, but you speak your mind. Beautiful halacha. You have over here afar. Afar with an ayin means dirt, but the Gemara over here means the ashes. What's ir hanidachas? Beautiful video. Another nice video that we have here. Ir hanidachas is a city that most of the people, most of the inhabitants of the city, do or perform avodah zarah. So the halacha is, you have to kill them all by sword, saif, and everything in the city, you can't benefit from anything, you have to burn it all. Now, they catch a deer. Be'ezer Hashem, I'm going to see one of those in Yellowstone. They say they have beautiful antelopes there with the big, giant antlers. Now there's blood. Can you use the ashes of the Ir Hanidachas? Yes, shmak. They made this video just for the sugya. Kind of mitzvah. What, they use their helmets to fill it up? Oh. Mechasim ba'afar ir hanidachas, you're allowed to use the ashes. Now, what's the problem? Aren't the ashes also b'hana? You're not allowed to benefit from anything. We're not talking about the ashes with the aleph, we're talking about the dirt with the ayin, la'afar ofra, afro. The chsiv is koshel tikboitz, what can't you benefit? These ashes, you have to, this dirt, the dirt, you have to come and take it off the ground, you have to pluck it, you have to gather it from the ground. That's already something that's not part of the Ir Hanidachas. Rav has another answer. Why could you use the ashes of Ir Hanidachas? To cover the blood of a chaya, that's a mitzvah, and it's not a beneficial thing. It's not like, oh, I have enough, I'm gaining from it. No, you're not getting anything. All you did was a mitzvah. Mitzvah is not your benefit. It's not for you to benefit. So Ravina said this over about Rava, who said that mitzvahs lav lahenos nidnu Rav Ravina. What about shofar shel avodah zarah liitka boy? It says halacha that if you have a shofar made of avodah zarah, you shouldn't blow shofar. My lavim taka lo yotza. That if you did blow the shofar, you're not yotza at all. Lo yim taka yotza. No, you shouldn't do it. But if you did, you're yotza the mitzvah. So over here also, you shouldn't maybe use this dirt or ashes. According to Rav, it's ashes. But if you did, you're yotza the mitzvah of kis yadam. Now, it just happens to be that in Yom Yoma, it's almost Rosh Hashanah, so there's a shaila if you're allowed to use a shofar of, let's say, the Muslims use their animals, they shech them, and they towards Mecca or whatever. Does the shofar have a Shem Avodah Zarah? It's a whole nidain. Some people are makpid only to use shofars from Argentina, etc. Says the Gemara, lulav shel Avodah Zarah lo yita. The lulav that somebody worshipped avodah zarah, you shouldn't shake it. My lav im not al yatsa, and if you did shake it, you're not yotza the mitzvah. La im not al yatsa, you are yotza. Just don't use it. It's not a good thing. Fragdimar, very nice try. Vatanya taka loyotza, not loyotza. It says you're telling me that if you blow the shofar of Avodah Zarah, you are yotza. It says mufurish, you're not yotza. You said that if you shake the lulav of Avodah Zarah, you are yotza. You shouldn't do it, but you are yotza. It says mufurish, you shouldn't do it. You're not yotza at all. Omer Ravashi Ochashta. You're right. Hasam daf peitasam beis shiur bina. When it comes to shofar, what's here? If one halacha you learned today, something maybe you didn't know, does a shofar have a shear? Does it have to be a certain length? Very good. The length is enough that it pokes out from both sides of your hand when you hold it. So it's a little bit more than a tefach. Well, it's kind of like a tefach, a little bit more. A little bit from this side, a little bit from that side. What about a lulav? A lulav should be 4 tefachim. 3 tefachim for the adasim and aravas, and 1 more tefach for the shaking of the lulav. So, since the Irani Dachas, you have to burn everything. So call it sarov, koloim l'sarev, kasarvdam. So there's a concept called katusei mechtashu, right? The shear is missing. Your 4 tefachim is actually not 4 tefachim anymore. So say the same thing by the dirt. Say that the dirt is missing a shear. No, the opposite. We want it to be chopped up thinner and better. So it's good for it to be chopped up. Hadrun Allah, kisi adam, hadrun Allah, kisi adam, hadrun Allah, kisi adam. Givaldik. Turning of the daf by our global international wire transfer specialist in a league of its own. Encore Healthcare as a schus for Klal Yisrael. mdydaf.com/shidduch. Upload a resume and help make shidduchim happen. Rabbi say, you're not going to believe this. We started this initiative a week ago. I wrote this in the Ami today. As of today, we have close to 300 resumes, Baruch Hashem, and 6 shidduchim were read. So hopefully people go out. That's amazing, no? But nobody claimed the $10,000 yet. It's still up for grabs. It might be good to get married just for that. Even if it's not a good shidduch, just chop it. You could always get divorced later. And then there'll be a ma'isa that somebody did it on aldas to get divorced. But one thing I married, they saw it, it's not bad. And it was the best shidduch ever of the whole thing. Then I'll write about that in the Ami. Okay. Kitusei Mechta Shiur, boy say we have another video. What is going on here? Chabad house in India.
Come on. How am I supposed to celebrate Sukkot like this?
Pagan ritual fragrance.
Statues, masks, incense sticks for idolatry. All for $1.
Awesome. The shiur for lulav is 4 tefochim.
There's nothing like celebrating Sukkot on a mountaintop in front of the wonders of creation.
Well, travelers are exempt from the sukkah. At least I have a beautiful set of Arbat Haminim.
Yehi Rutshen Milflu.
Lamaisi, you're right. You shouldn't be paying these kids anything. They should be paying you to watch this, no? They're enjoying themselves way too much. Kitusei Mechta Shiur, that if you have Avodah Zarah, lulav, and esrog, it's broken shiur, it's made out of it's dust. It's nothing. You're shaking dust. Even the Indian guy knew. Kitusei Mechta Shiur. No, it didn't. Don't worry. When we need it, it's going to come back, I think. Let's see. Do you see this? Oh. It says in the pasuk, after Yaakov Avinu had the fight with the Malach, and he got him good. He hit him in the Gid HaNasha, he got him in the thigh. Al Kein Lo Yoichlu B'nei Yisrael is Gid HaNasha. That's why, till this very day, we don't eat the Gid HaNasha. Sher Al Kaf HaYorech. It's on the spoon of the thigh. In other words, where there's a a nice piece of meat. Adayim said, till this very day we don't need to get anasha. Ki noga, ki the malach, noga b'kaf yerech Yaakov, that's where he hit him, begid anasha. So says the Mishnah, gid anasha, noyeg. So what is the gid anasha? Let's just show you at least one picture or two. It's a sinew that runs down, those yellow guys. Now they're blue. The yellow are there's a chitzon and a pnimi, so we'll see in a second. There's the right and the left, which Rabbi Yehuda says it's only on the right. And here, there's the gida pnimi. The blue one is that's the dairaisa. The chitzon, it's a machlok is exactly what the chitzon is. There's the Teimanim versus the Ashkenazim, but the chitzon is the Rabbanon. The Ashkenazim say it's higher up, the Teimanim say it's lower down. If we want to see from the shechita we did, so that is the Gid Anasha, that stringy thing over there, that sinew. You can also see the piece of flesh over there, maybe not. Okay. Huh?
You have a video.
This one? Yeah, I had a video. I don't know if it's here. Oh, this one. That's the Gid Anasha, right over there. Okay. So says the Mishnah, Gid Anasha, Noyeg ba'aretz u'chutz la'aretz. It applies the isser of eating it. It doesn't matter where you live, even in Chicago. B'fnei habayis v'shlei b'fnei habayis, whether we have a beis hamikdash or not. B'chulin u b'mugdashim. It doesn't matter if it's carbon or not a carbon. V'noyeg b'behema u b'chai. So this is a nice chiddush because there's certain things that we just learned. We had chaylev, doesn't apply by a chaya. We had Kisi Adam, we just had very good. Kisi Adam doesn't apply by a behema, only by a chaya. But this halach of Gid Anasha is by both, behema and chaya. B'yerech sheyimin u b'yerech shesmayil, on both sides of the animal. And it does not apply in a bird, in a chicken, mipnei she'ein lo kaf. He doesn't have that spoony, that piece of meat over there. He does have a Gid Anasha, but he doesn't have the kaf. B'noyeg b'shlil. So this goes like Shitas Remeir in a Ben Pekua. We learned that a Ben Pekua, the fetus inside the mother, you don't have to shecht. Remeir holds in the 9th month, you do have to shecht that it's a reyes as if it's born. And Memela, it has its own isser of Gid Anasha, even though it's in its mother's stomach. If you doimer einay noyeg b'shalil Ben Pekua is mutar when you shecht the mother. V'chel by mutar. So this is murdik. The fat of the Ben Pekua is mutar. The Gid Anasha of the Ben Pekua is mutar. That's why there are those who say that the Ben Pekua is parev. You can eat it with milk. The meat of a Ben Pekua, because it's there. You see, there's no chaylev. There's no Gid Anasha. It's like its own little thing. The butchers are not believed to say, "Oh, we took out the Gid Anasha." Why? Because it's a lot of work to take it out. It's not true. A butcher is believed. He's believed to say he took out the Gid Anasha. He's also believed to say he took out all the fats. The fats that are awesome. Says the Gemara, Mugdashim Pshita. What's the chiddush? If I have an animal, think about it. I have an animal that has chaylev in it. I have an animal that has a Gid Anasha in it. And now I went and I made it in oila. So because I made it a carbon, that's why the isser is going to fly away? What happened to the isser of chaylev? What happened to the isser of Gid Anasha? So why is the Mishnah telling me, even by a carbon, it's aser? Of course it's aser. Because I made a kaddish, that's why it should fly away. Perhaps you'll say a gid is tasty. In other words, it's like a piece of meat. It has flavor. You eat it. People eat sinews. Maybe the chiddush here is that even though it's already usher, this piece right over here, it has an isser beforehand. Today I'm going to add a second isser on top of it called eating a carbon. Now, usually I say ein isser chal al isser. In this case, I could say isser chal al isser. One isser applies itself on top of another isser because there's different reasons. Sometimes it's isser ma'isiv, sometimes it's more chamer, as the Gemara is going to say on top of that tzadik on aleph. So for whatever the reason is, the chiddush of the Mishnah is that you chayiv two malchus, two isur, one for eating a gid anasha, and the second one, 2 months later, you applied another isur to it called eating a piece of a carbon. The problem is, so the wording is wrong. You're trying to tell me that the hegdish applies itself on top of the gid. What you said is that the gid applies itself onto mugdashim. It's the opposite. No, you know what? It doesn't have any flavor at all. I'm trying to lower the trauma here. I don't want to talk about nois and tam. You know, like, nois and tam just literally means it gives flavor, it doesn't give flavor. A gid, the sinew, doesn't have flavor. The chiddush is, you hear this? If you eat a piece of carbon, the gid of a carbon, that's what the Mishnah is telling me. That you're only over one. What's the isser? Gid anasha. But you're not over on eating a carbon. Why are you not over on eating a carbon? Because it's not edible. It doesn't have a flavor. If you eat a bone of a carbon, something that has zero flavor of a carbon, you're not a chayiv. It's a piece of wood. It's not a carbon. You're chayiv on the meat of a carbon. So now we're holding that the gid doesn't have flavor. As the Gemara, what? This Tana, our Tana of the Mishnah holds that a sinew doesn't have flavor? It does have flavor. How do I know? It says mafurish. Well, it's not. It says in the Mishnah. If I take this video right over here, take this whole piece, and I put it in a pot. Yeah, I put it in a pot, I cook it. Am I over? So it depends. What do you guys think? Is there 60 times meat the amount of gid hanasha?
Yeah,
probably. So if there's 60 amount of meat more than the gid hanasha, you're not over. Because then it'll be bottled in 60. You won't have a tam. But now, if it gives off flavor, if you could taste the sinew, in other words, it's less than 60 times the meat, not like in this picture. Hare Zasura. No, but what do you see? That the Gid Anasha gives off flavor. What are you telling me? Gid Anasha doesn't have a flavor. Over here it says, depends. If it's less than 60 times the meat and it gives off flavor, you chayiv. Beautiful. We're not talking about an animal that you made a carbon today. We're talking about an animal that was a carbon from the moment it was created. How? It's the vlad, it's the fetus of a carbon. Shlamim. Because noig b'shalil. You should know he holds that the sinew of a carbon is, the sinew of a fetus is asur. Because vlad is kachim. Two things he holds. First of all, you can make a carbon when it's in the mother's stomach. When as a fetus, it becomes a carbon. Second of all, the isser of Gid Anasha applies in a fetus. So what happened? The isser Gid Anasha, the isser Gid, the isser Mugdashim, they had other kasu. They were created simultaneously. When the fetus was created, so at that moment of creation, what's the word? Creation is not the good word. How do you say? In Hebrew, it's yitzira. When it was formed, thank you. When it was formed, how's the lighting now without that? Okay, we'll have to decide. A little dark over here. No. When the fetus was formed, at that moment, the Gid Anasha was formed. It became Asas Gid Anasha, and also became a carbon. So Mela what? Yechayiv on two averis. Yechayiv two malchus. As the Gemara Mimasas Mugas Mulab Shalil. Oh, 1 hour into it. Yeah, I see. And 24 people on Zoom, on the YouTube. What?
The light was set to tell you.
Oh, that's what it is. The light went off after an hour. He set a timer. We're good. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. I think we saw enough videos today, no? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Never enough.
Never enough. Unfortunately, that's it. So, ask the Gemara, almost done. 2 more minutes. How could you be telling me that it's talking about a fetus? All of a sudden, at the end of the Mishnah, it says, like 5 lines from the end of the Mishnah, smack in the middle of the Mishnah. That means before that you weren't talking about a fetus. Only now you're talking about a fetus. We started off the Mishnah talking about a fetus. And you should know that it's a machlokes Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan. How can you say that the sinews, the Gid HaNasha, and the carbon happened when it was formed initially simultaneously? What's the problem? But now we learned in the Mishnah, a nazir is somebody who vows not to benefit from any grape product, not to drink wine, not to eat chartzanim, not to become tamei to a dead person. And then he becomes tamei to a dead person. In middle of his, let's say, 30 days of Nazirus, he must start all over again and he must shave. But what does it say? These are the tumas that a Nazir must shave his entire body. Al hameis, v'al kezayis min hameis. If he touches a dead body, or a kezayis of a dead body. V'kashilon, we ask the obvious question. Al kezayis min hameis megaleach, if he touches a small kezayis of a dead person, he has to shave himself. Al kuli lekolshkin, and if he shaved himself, if he touched an entire body, of course he's chayiv. So why do I have to say 2 cases? A kezayis and a whole mace. Answers the Gemara. We're talking about a miscarriage of a fetus that he wasn't even formed to the point he didn't have sinews. What does that mean? That means it's possible, as the Gemara, that he was a carbon before he had sinews. Because you see from here that there's such a thing called a nafel, a miscarriage, where this fetus doesn't have any sinews. This explains that it's like meat, it's very soft like meat, which later on becomes harder like sinews. On top. So what do you see? You see that sinews happens later on in the formation of the fetus. But first, he became a carbon. On day 1, he's a carbon. Maybe day 40, he gets sinews. I don't know what day. Says Gemara, Afagav, the Isra Mikdashim Kadim. You're right, he was a carbon first. Osi Gid Chayil Alayu. But you could still add the Isra of Gid HaNasha to the carbon, and therefore you'd be chayiv 2 korbanos if he eats the Gid HaNasha. 1 for the Gid HaNasha, 1 for a carbon. Why are you able to apply one Isra on top of the other? Because it is super usr. It's so usr that even a non-Jew, what do they call it? A Noahite. They even have today. People are makbid in the 7 commandments of the Noahites. Huh? Noahite laws. Very good. So because it's so usr, they even Bnei Noach are chayiv in it. So Mela, it's Isur Chomer, and Isur Chomer could apply itself on top of another Isur Chalal Isur, and that's why you chayiv too. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you from Yellowstone Park, Be'ezer Hashem.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.